So if you wanted to learn more about sanctuary model or creating presence, I really encourage you to check out Sandy Bloom's work. She's got a number of books and a number of videos and publications online as well. Sandy's ideas have really influenced my thinking about organizations, and she was actually one of my professors in my doctorate program. One of the things I learned from her that really stuck with me was the idea of parallel processes within organizations and thinking about an organization as a living and breathing organism. She writes that organizations are not machines, but are living, complex systems, and as such, are every bit as vulnerable to the impact of trauma and chronic stress as the people who receive and deliver services. So, this means that just as an individual's past trauma and loss can impact their behavior, their emotions, can lead to defense mechanisms, impact their relationship, their well-being, their beliefs, their values, their perspectives, their sense of self, so too does the past trauma and loss of an organization as a whole. Organizations are prone to respond to trauma and threat in similar ways that individuals respond to trauma and threat. However, these organizational responses are collective traumas, and they happen at a group and collective level. Some examples might be different social defense mechanisms, such as denial, or coercion, or avoidance, or scapegoating, that happens at a collective level within an organization. Organizational hyperarousal, everyone feeling like they're walking on eggshells, looking over their shoulder, feeling afraid and feeling like they've lost the sense of safety in the workplace. Ongoing organizational stress, loss of emotional management within the organization, organizational disabilities or amnesia, communication problems, conflict, abuse of power, organizational injustice, helplessness, unresolved grief, or even organizational trauma reenactments. That these are all things individuals experience related to trauma, and also things that organizations can experience in the aftermath of trauma. So I want to pause and challenge you for a moment to reflect on what are the traumas, losses, defenses, or other collective problems that your organization experiences. And if we were to consider our organization in the same way we might consider the case study of an individual trauma survivor, how might the development of our organization, or the structure of our organization, or the behavior, or defenses, or losses, or trauma, or strengths, or growth of our organization help inform us about working with or within the organization? Actually, when I was in Sandy's class in graduate school, the assignment she gave us was to do a case study of an organization and to write about the history of trauma and loss within that organization and reflect on how its history, its development might be impacting it currently, which I thought was, it ended up being a really illuminating and insightful assignment for me to do. So I could encourage you to consider the same for your organizations. The other thing that I wanted to talk about that I learned from Sandy is the presence of parallel processes between staff and clients and between leadership and staff. So there's often a parallel process, a similar kind of mirroring of behavior that's happening between the staff and the clients and the leadership and the staff. That if the leadership and the staff if the leadership is really avoidant or minimizing problems or denying issues with the staff, then there's likely to be a parallel process in that the staff are going to minimize issues, deny, avoid issues with the clients. Or if the leadership's being abusive, then it's more likely that the staff might be abusive, or even the clients might be abusive. If leadership are dehumanizing clients, it's more likely that the staff are going to dehumanize clients and that clients are going to dehumanize themselves. If leadership is defensive, it's more likely that staff are going to be defensive. However, if the leadership is empowering staff, it's more likely that staff are going to feel empowered to empower their clients. If the leadership are demonstrating humility and vulnerability and compassion and understanding, it's more likely that the staff will be able to demonstrate the same vulnerability and humility and compassion, understanding with clients. So there's often a parallel process that's happening in an organization. And as leaders, as clinicians, as staff members, we can really look for these parallel processes. Sometimes it emerges in the opposite direction, that when there's drama going on within the community of clients, that it might lead to drama or chaos going on within the staff and within the leadership. So this can really go both ways. Regardless, a traumatized organization that's not begun to address its own trauma, dysfunction, loss, secondary traumatic stress, and burnout, and attend to the needs of its staff, is in no condition to be providing trauma-informed services, and especially in no condition to be providing trauma therapy or trauma-focused treatments. So it's really important that we're considering the well-being of the organization as a whole, in addition to the well-being of each person within the organization.